to Boston as the San Francisco 49ers take on the New England Patriots. Yesterday, you know that the Jets lost for the 4th time in a row, losing to the Steelers. It's a game-and-a-half lead over the 49ers as we go into today's action. Good afternoon again, everyone. Conditions ideal, 29 degrees, and we're going to watch the wind closely. It's from the southwest at 12 miles per hour. There you see the top of the goalpost and the gusts down on the field. The 49ers have won the toss. They'll receive. Tony Franklin will kick off. Derek Crawford on the left. Don Griffin on the right. Underway. And it's Crawford at the 3. And he's brought down shy of the 15-yard line by Ed Reynolds. Joe Montana, who is regaining his sharpness as a quarterback after making the remarkable comeback from back surgery in the 2nd week of the year, will lead the 49ers against this defensive unit. Brent Williams, Kobe Williams, and Garen Veras up front. Andre Tippett makes his first start in 6 weeks. Johnny Rembert, Lawrence McGrew, and Don Blackman, the linebackers. And there's the secondary, and a good one. 1st and 10. Joe Cribbs and Roger Craig. And it's Craig. And Don Blackman drives him out of bounds, and a loss on the play. The rest of the 49ers offensive unit. Cribbs starting in place of Wendell Tyler, who could play today. He's had bad knees. Dwight Clark and Jerry Rice are outstanding, particularly Rice. Paris, McIntyre, Quillen, Cross, and Farnhorst to the offensive line, and Russ Francis, who used to toil here in Foxborough, the tight end for the 49ers. 2nd and 12 at the 11. Tom Rathman joins Cribbs in the backfield. And it's Cribbs out to the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. So, Dan, we talked about how the running game hasn't gone for the Patriots, and they've had to rely on an outstanding defensive unit this year.
And it's one of the best in the league, and especially when Andre Tippett, number 56, is back in the lineup. Had the knee problem. This is his first start in over a month, and boy, is he desperately needed, especially around playoff time. One thing I'm interested in early here, Dick, is how well the 49ers handle the football. It's very cold, and let's see how well they handle the center quarterback snap and how the receivers and running backs do with the ball.
3rd and 7. Cribbs carries it out shy of a 1st down, stopped at the 19-yard line. They get Roger Craig, stopped at the 19. It'll be 4th down. And coming into punt will be Max Runager. So the 49ers keeping it on the ground in the first series get nothing. And Max Runager, who has had 2 kicks blocked, will be kicking to Irving Fryer, who's standing at the Patriot 40. And a fair catch called for by the up man into 49er territory. And that was Roland James, a 28-yard punt by Runager. So the Patriots will have good field position in their first series. Tony Eason is their quarterback with an impressive 16 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. The defense for the 49ers, this is the base defense. Manu Tuiasosopo is starting at left end for Jeff Stover. Carter and Board, the linebackers. Turner is a big play man. Rookies at the cornerback position. 1st and 10 at the 46 of San Francisco. And Tony Collins is stopped for a loss of a yard on the play. Joining Collins is Mosi Tutupu, as Craig James still can't get back with his knee problems. Stanley Morgan and Irving Fryer are the wide receivers. The offensive line, Holloway, Matic, Brock, Wooten, and Haley, and Greg Beatty, the rookie tight end. 2nd and a long 10 now for the Patriots with 12:25 remaining in the first quarter. Eason with the first pass of the day, and he completes it to Stanley Morgan. And Morgan gets inside the 20 and inside the 10. He has the most yards in the AFC, and you can add 38 to that total. Carlton Williamson knocks Stanley Morgan out of bounds.
Solid pass protection in the middle. Tony Eason has time to develop a crossing pattern, and Stanley Morgan underneath the zone. And you would assume maybe a blown coverage by the 49ers. Morgan, if he could have stayed in bound, may have scored, but it started with a good field position. They began this drive in 49er territory, and the early advantage with the Patriots.
First and goal at the 8. Pryor goes in motion. Play action. Eason. And it's a touchdown. Greg Beatty, the tight end. 8th round draft pick out of Stanford, puts the Patriots up early, 6-0.
Let's see if we can pick up Greg Beatty, number 48, as he'll come from the tight end position. We'll watch it after the kick as the Patriots come up, but boy, what a start for the Pats.
Tony Franklin, who is 37 of 38 with Tony Eason holding, will try to give the Patriots an early 7-0 lead. And the kick is good. So the Patriots, who had their 7-game winning streak snapped here against Cincinnati last week with Greg Beatty catching the touchdown pass, have the early lead.
From ground level, Beatty's on the far side of the formation. He just works from right to left. But again, look at the time. Tony Eason has to stand in the pocket. And Beatty just right on the goal line when he makes the catch. Ronnie Lott there too late.
The Patriots, and the second touchdown reception of the year by the rookie Beatty. Set up by the pass to Morgan, and now Tony Franklin will be kicking off to a new pair. Bill Ring is on the left and Tom Rathman on the right for the 49ers. The wind already a factor in this game, and yesterday at practice it looked awfully tough with Joe Montana trying to engineer some passing plays.
And the wind has picked up considerably. It was fairly calm an hour ago, but they say that it'll get stronger and stronger as the afternoon goes on. A real problem for the kickers.
Just about 3 minutes gone by in the first quarter, and the wind plays havoc with the football, and Franklin will have to tee it up again.
Talking about the wind, yesterday Ray Wershing was trying 40-yard field goals. The football was ending up about 5 and 6 yards short and about 20 yards offline when he was actually starting the football outside the goalpost. The wind was moving so much left to right, Dick. You and I were both right. He was getting a little frustrated.
And the sun is also a factor here, which we'll show you shortly. So there are all kinds of problems with the elements here at Sullivan Stadium. So Franklin now has a holder for the kickoff. Heading over towards Rathman at the 10. And the rookie from Nebraska, without much speed, brings it nonetheless out to the 31-yard line where Ernest Gibson makes the stop.
Let's go back and take a look at Stanley Morgan's reception. Here's how he got so wide open. He lines up here at the tight end position. He's lined up across from Charles Haley, a defensive lineman. He gets a little hit on him and then comes underneath. That's a tight end move all the way, and the 49ers totally unprepared to have Morgan lined up at the tight end position.
First and 10 for the 49ers at the 32 with Cribbs and Craig, the running backs. Montana's first pass to Roger Craig is complete, and it appears to be a first down to the 43-yard line. Lawrence McGrew and Andre Tippett combined to make the tackle. Joe Montana, first time in his career that he has more interceptions than touchdown passes this late in the season.
7 interceptions and 6 touchdowns, and of course that's attributed to the rather cautious start coming back from his back surgery. It's tough to hang those stats on him and say that it's a failure. His return and up is a triumph.
First and 10 at the 43. Rathman in the game, but it's Cribbs who brings it out to about the 45-yard line. And making the tackle, Brent Williams, with help from Toby Williams. And the 49ers trying to keep it on the ground early. Keep in mind Wendell Tyler may not play today. They wanted to hold him out for the Rams next week, but he could see action. He's in uniform.
And they're doing now what they wish they would have done on their first drive. Get a first down and move the chains. That 3 and out cost them some really, really poor field position.
2nd and 8. Montana gets away and gets to midfield. Short of a first down by 3 yards. Johnny Rembert was the key man with help from Don Blackman. And we can expect Montana to run a little bit more than he has.
And I think the 49ers got a lucky bounce of the football. The protection breaks down after the play action fake. Guy McIntyre, the left guard, beaten. And Joe, let's see if this would have been a fumble. The ball came right back to him after he's stripped of it by Rembert. Boy, that would have been very close. But a good bounce for the 49ers, and that brings Joe out of the game.
Montana leaves the game, and Jeff Kemp is coming in, and he appears to be looking at his right hand in a play that obviously happened on the tackle. So Jeff Kemp, who started 6 games for the 49ers with those numbers this year, has come in at quarterback here in the first quarter with 5 minutes elapsed.
And there's nothing wrong, Dick, with those numbers whatsoever. Kemp had a mighty fine year, played well for the Niners.
3rd and 3, 4 wide receivers for San Francisco. Kemp completes it to Derek Crawford, fumbles, and now they rule that it is an incompleted pass. An incompleted pass. Crawford did not have possession. Ernest Gibson made the hit on the former USFL star.
Well, let's take a close look at this. Crawford had the football for a long time. Let's see if he was juggling. He'll make his move back to the inside. Boy, that's a tough call. We talked about it just a minute ago. The 49ers having trouble handling the football. Boy, Dick, that was very, very close. I don't know if he had possession or not. Difficult to see.
Max Runager blowing on his hands. Will be kicking to Irving Fryer. And now the 49ers going back into their huddle. 7-0, the New England Patriots scoring. Holding the Niners with good defense on the first series, getting good field position. And scoring on an 8-yard touchdown pass from Tony Eason to tight end Greg Beatty. And now there's a conference. They obviously have looked up here to the replay.
Instant replay reveals that the pass was incomplete. The play stands. 4th down.
And the crowd doesn't agree with what Gene Barth has just announced to it, as Raymond Berry tries to keep warm on the New England side of things. Runager will kick from his 35. Short kick, bounces at the 31. Surrounded by the Niners and down there at the 25. It's 7-0 in favor of New England. 25-yard kick by Max Runager. Story here in Foxborough, and of course we're going to take a look at that play that was checked on the videotape in real time, not slow motion.
Yeah, let's look at it at normal speed. How long did Derek Crawford have the football? We clearly see it come loose and recovered by the Patriots. Boy, to me, it looked like he held the football long enough to be a completed pass and then a fumble. I just couldn't see from that angle, Dick, whether or not he was juggling the football, but he certainly had it long enough to be a completed pass.
Looked like he lost it when he turned. Tony Collins and Mosi Tatupu are the running backs. 1st and 10 at the 26 for the Patriots. Eason completes the pass to Fryer. And Fryer is just short of a first down by perhaps a yard. Irving Fryer having his best year as a receiver.
Irving Fryer in motion will stop, work from the slot position. A very simple pattern. He just checks up, but the linebacker has to come out from the inside, and Mike Walter cannot get there in time. And Irving Fryer, so dangerous with the football, rather than just going down, works back to the middle of the field and picks up some extra yardage.
Despite the cold and the wind, Tony Eason is 3 for 3, 54 yards and a touchdown. 2nd and 2 at the 34. Calling an obvious audible here. And the whistle blows.
5-yard penalty.
Didn't do it in time. 5-yard penalty. We talked about how the sun is also a problem.
If you're moving right to left, as the Patriots are right now, if you're going to work a pattern to the far side of the field, when you look back at your quarterback, you're going to be looking directly into the sun, as we see it right there below the crossbar. And it's going to be difficult here in the first quarter for the Patriots receivers to see the football to that side of the field.
2nd down and 7 following the penalty. And there's Collins. And Collins crosses the 30-yard line where he's hit by Michael Carter, the 49er nose tackle. It'll be 3rd and about 5 now for the Patriots. Michael Carter, an outstanding nose tackle, has been double-teamed a lot this year, so he hasn't been involved in as many tackles as he was last year.
Plus, he's playing hurt. Michael has a bad ankle that's been bothering him off and on all season long. Even hurt, he's still one of the best nose guards in the business.
Jeff Stover and Larry Roberts, a couple of pass rushers in there now on 3rd and 5 for San Francisco. Eason will go down. Back at the 21-yard line. Dwayne Board and Jeff Fuller came in from the secondary in a loss of 8 yards.
Well, there was good pressure from the inside, but up here at the top of our screen, that's Jeff Fuller, and he's going to come in. Now he's working to that side where Tony Collins is supposed to make the block, but he gives up the inside position. Fuller works back to the inside and makes the play. He was accounted for, just not blocked by the Patriots and Tony Collins.
So Rich Camarillo will kick from inside his 10. He's 3rd in the conference. And the leading punt returner in the NFC, Don Griffin, the rookie, is waiting to receive. Good kick by Camarillo. Griffin at the 35. And Griffin will bring it into Patriot territory at the 49-yard line. Best starting position, and Joe Montana comes back into the game for the 49ers when San Francisco takes over 1st and 10. Dick Stockton and Dan Deerdorf. Patriots lead the 49ers 7-0. Joe Montana back in the game at quarterback for the 49ers, who are 1st and 10 at the New England 49. Joe Cribbs finds an opening up the middle and gets to the 42-yard line in a gain of about 7. So again, let's tell you about the picture regarding the 49ers in the NFC West. The Rams lead by a game and a half. If the 49ers win their last 2 games, which includes a game next Friday against the Rams, and the Rams lose to Miami today, the 49ers would win the NFC West. San Francisco with 2 victories would clinch a wild card, although they could win 1. And if Minnesota loses 1, the Niners are also in the playoff. 2nd and 4 at the 43 of New England. And once again, it's Cribbs, and he'll have the 1st down inside the 40. Brent Williams making the tackle, and Cribbs, of course, is no stranger to facing the Patriots here.
No, and he has had good games here at Foxborough. Bill Walsh told us that yesterday, that he's confident with Joe Cribbs playing against the Patriots. He always seems to do well. The other thing to keep in mind is not only do the New England Patriots not rush the ball well, they've given up almost 500 yards in rushing the last 2 weeks. That has to stop if they're to win.
2 tight ends in there, and Cribbs is tripped up. And a loss on the play, Garen Veris, and some tempers flare. Don Blackman of the Patriots had to be held back. Loss of maybe a yard on the play. 5:42 remaining in the first quarter. 7-0 in favor of New England. It'll be 2nd and 11 at the 38. Play action. Montana wide open. Jerry Rice. And Raymond Claiborne knocks him out of bounds at the 16-yard line, and a gain of 22 yards and a 49er 1st down. And no one has been able to stop that man this year.
And one of the things that the Patriots do is play a very deep zone. And the 49ers want to work underneath the deepest part of that zone between the linebackers and the secondary. That time in zone protection, that's Jerry Rice working underneath. Notice how many Patriots were too far down the football field. You can't give that big a cushion to a receiver like Jerry Rice.
22-yard gain. And here's Craig up the middle. And Roger Craig still going. Gets inside the 5 and another San Francisco 1st down. And when we talked about the 49ers getting healthy, he is #1 on the list.
I don't know how many backs in the game have better hip and leg action than Roger Craig. Watch the thighs pump after the contact as he go down, but look at the knees. Look how high they come up. He continues to drive forward and carries 3 Patriots. Boy, you gotta love a football player like Roger Craig.
Don Blackman made the tackle. 49ers keeping it on the ground. First and goal at the 3. Cribbs will go in for the score. And Joe Cribbs, who is the second leading rusher for the 49ers, has scored his 7th touchdown, make it his 3rd touchdown of the year, and it's 7-6.
The Patriots started a drive inside San Francisco territory. They took it in for a touchdown. 49ers say turnabout is fair play. They start this drive in Patriot territory, and they're on the verge of tying the football game.
Ray Wersching is in to attempt the conversion. Joe Cribbs, a handy acquisition from the Buffalo Bills. Wersching is 36 of 37. Mike Morosky will hold. And the kick is good. With 4:35 remaining in the first quarter, we're all even at 7-7.
One of the things the 49ers have is offensive linemen that run well. This is Randy Cross, the right guard. Follow his lead block as he pulls and kicks out. And Joe Cribbs, following Craig, is going to make that nice cut upfield. But there's Randy Cross. He gets the kick out on Lepet, and it's an easy walk-in touchdown for Joe Cribbs. Let's take another peek at it from the ground level. The kick out by Cross, you can see to the left of your screen, and it just doesn't get a whole lot easier than that. The Saints went for 178 yards rushing against the Patriots. Last week, the Bengals went for 300, and San Francisco doesn't seem to be having much of a problem running the ball either here early.
Randy Cross, one of the keys up front. Guy McIntyre is starting at left guard for John Ayers, who did not dress. 49ers have done it mostly through the air, although Bill Walsh said this week, in response to Raymond Berry's problems running the ball, that the 49ers themselves won a Super Bowl in a year in which they primarily threw the ball and hardly rushed at all.
And that was primarily because they didn't have backs like Roger Craig, Wendell Tyler, and Joe Cribbs at their disposal. One of the things the 49ers, though, still have is a very solid offensive line, although an aged one. These guys are getting a little gray in the beard.
A short kick is picked up by Johnny Rembert, and Rembert is stopped at the 36-yard line. So we're going to see those kind of squib kicks and pooch kicks throughout the afternoon. You couldn't ask for a better day. Not a cloud in the sky, but it's cold and windy here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts on the 15th week. 2 teams that have a lot at stake in this game. The San Francisco 49ers, who are looking for at least a wild card berth, and the New England Patriots, who could win the division championship. First and 10 at the 37. Eason over the middle, completes to Beatty, who caught the touchdown pass, and Beatty to the 42, and the tackle by Ricky Ellison and Michael Walter.
And we've got a flag thrown on the play. Keep an eye on Charles Haley. As Charles Haley works upfield, let's see if he gets the late hit on Tony Eason. He's picked up from the inside by Fairchild. The arm was up in the throat back when Tony Eason, and that's going to be a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty against Charles Haley.
Haley has been the pass rushing leader from the nickel with 11 sacks leading the 49ers, but he was guilty there. And now a big break for the Patriots. They have a first down and 10 at the 49ers 43-yard line. Here's Reggie Dupard. Reggie Dupard, the rookie from SMU, who's going to get a lot of work today, brings it out to the 37-yard line, and a gain of at least 6. Ricky Ellison and Charles Haley on the tackle. So with Craig James out of action, they're going to need Dupard, the rookie, who was on injured reserve with a turf toe for 10 weeks.
Who only has 18 yards rushing on the season. Not a whole lot of experience for Reggie Dupard. It's taken him a while to figure out the Patriots' offensive system.
Greg Hawthorne is the up back, the versatile tight end and wide receiver. Dupard again. Hawthorne blocking. Dupard has a first down. And out of bounds at the 21 by Don Griffin. Gain of 10.
Just one-on-one blocking at the point of attack, but Dupard with the good outside speed. He gets the good lead block out front. And what does he do with it? He continues to take it to the sidelines. This is a guy that has been crying for work. All the talent in the world. He's had some problems in his blocking. One of the things they tried desperately to do here in New England is protect Tony Eason. Reggie Dupard has blown a couple blitz coverages recently, and that's put him on the bench.
Tony Collins is in the game now, replacing Dupard. Eason first and 10 at the 27. And just out of the reach of Stanley Morgan, who had run a post pattern against the rookie Tim McKyer. Talking to Eason yesterday, going against the two rookies, Griffin and McKyer, he said they were about even.
Yeah, he called them clones, actually. And, you know, I just can't remember the last time I saw a team that went in with two rookie corners and had the kind of success that the 49ers have. They've already set a team record for interceptions. Of course, if you've got a pair of safeties backing you up like Williamson and Lott, you know, that makes your life a little more enjoyable as a cornerback.
That was Eason's first incompletion in 5 tries. Second and 10 on the 27. Collins gets inside the 20. Carlton Williamson and Michael Walter on the tackle. There's Bubba Paris, and the 49ers have not played that many games in cold weather.
No, they played in the wind before, obviously, at Candlestick Park, and yesterday was kind of fun watching the 49ers work out there going, oh, it's not so bad out here. Ken Marjoram had shorts on, and Bill Wall says, I don't expect the weather to be a factor. All I can say is they were out on the field for about a half an hour. When they walked in, they were frozen to the bone. Question now of mind over matter. I'm not sure who's going to win.
Stephen Starring, number 81, is the third wide receiver. On 3rd down and 7. Eason was going for Hawthorne. In the corner, incomplete. And it'll be 4th down. Tony Franklin will come in the game for the Patriots, who will try to break the 7-7 tie with 2:34 remaining in the first quarter. Franklin missed 2 in a row last week after making 14 straight field goals. And what a revival he's had here after leaving Philadelphia.
They're talking about Tony Franklin being one of the best moves that they've ever made in their front office. He's been much more than they expected him to be.
Eason will hold. This will be a 41-yard attempt. And Franklin's kick is right down the middle. And the Patriots have regained the lead, 10-7.
Except in '84, when the Swedish women's team broke down.
Right now, let's clarify the New England Patriots playoff story. If they win the last 2 games, including
Want it to all come down to having to win in the Orange Bowl for the Patriots.
especially after losing to Cincinnati last week, you don't want to lose 2 home games prior to that one.
Oh, put this baby in the bank at home.
And it's going to be Rathman at the 4. Tom Rathman brings it out to the 26-yard line. A tackle by Milford Hodge. Next Saturday, it'll be at Giant Stadium as the Green Bay Packers will go against the New York Giants. And I guess there are always dangerous teams lurking when you're trying to nail down home field advantage.
And we'll follow that up with a little NC2A basketball action. The Fighting Illini of Illinois will go against Dean Smith, the North Carolina Tar Heels, next Saturday right here on CBS.
Carolina, real power this year. Montana, incomplete to Russ Francis. Fred Marion was right with him. So as we said, Russ Francis, who played and distinguished himself for the New England Patriots as a penalty marker is thrown, now with the 49ers.
Illegal use of the hands, number 44 defense. A push in the face, 5-yard penalty, and a first down.
Russ Francis yesterday walked onto the field, and you asked him the natural thing about the memories that he's had.
He talked about the Patriot fans and how wild they were. He said some of the fondest memories he had were walking off of the field after the game. He said you didn't mind the bottles and the beer so much. He said it was one time a hibachi came out of the stands with hot coals in it. He said that's when you had to take them serious.
1st and 10 at the 31. Montana, with enough time, dumps it off to Craig. And Craig leaps his way to the 43-yard line for a 49er first down. Andre Tippett back in action.
And it's interesting, the first couple of times that they've gone to Roger Craig out of the backfield, it's been to Andre Tippett's side, although that time Tippett is in on the rush. How good a football player is Andre Tippett? Look at him catch Roger Craig from behind after rushing the quarterback. I guess you could call that great effort.
That illegal use of the hands penalty was called against number 44. There's no number 44 on the Patriots.
I was waiting for you to ID that guy.
I might have never. Cribbs with McIntyre blocking. Bulls his way close to midfield before Fred Marion knocks him out of bounds, and we got a clarification. It was Ronnie Lepet, number 42, who was guilty on the call. Meanwhile, the 49ers, effectively moving the ball on the ground, are at midfield, and it'll be 2nd down and 2.
I don't think the 49ers want to put Joe Montana in the situation of having to throw 40 times here today. Not just because the weather is inclement, but because of his bad back as well. While Bill Walsh says he thinks he's 100%, he's still a great deal concerned.
2nd and 2, Craig, first down and a lot more. And Roger Craig carries the ball with the legs churning to the 26, a gain of 25 before Raymond Claiborne makes the tackle. And for Craig, it matches his longest rush of the season.
Let's take a look at the play. It's just right up the middle. The 49ers said that they will attack the middle of the Patriot defense. They think that's where they're weakest. And look how well everything was walled off to the inside. Randy Cross coming down, and, well, that puts the Patriot defensive backs in a position they don't want to be in one-on-one with Craig.
1st and 10 at the 25, Montana. Cribbs couldn't hold on. It'll be 2nd and 10 with 43 seconds to go, but the 49ers, who trail 10-7, have already rushed for 72 yards in this first quarter.
And that's something they thought they could do, visiting with the 49er offensive lineman yesterday. They thought that people like Toby Williams, who plays the nose, Brent Williams, Garen Veras, while they are accomplished pass rushers, they tend to give up some ground in the running game, and they wanted to capitalize on that here today, and so far they have early.
2nd and 10, Rathman. In for Craig. Cribbs up the middle, and Joe Cribbs appears to have another 49er first down inside the 15-yard line. Don Blackman making the tackle.
And again, they're making their mileage up between the guards. Let's look at it from behind the Patriots defense. Nothing very fancy here at all. Rembert effectively cleaned out by Rathman. The defensive linemen are taken out of the play, and somehow the Patriots are going to have to start line stunning, maybe some run blitzing, to try to stop the 49er running game, or they're going to be in big trouble.
And Randy Cross has played a very fine first quarter, blocking up front as the time runs out on the first quarter here at Sullivan Stadium. Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough. Dick Stockton and Dan Deerdorf as we start the second quarter. The Patriots lead the 49ers 10-7. It'll be 1st and 10 for San Francisco, just inside the 10-yard line, and they rushed for 82 yards and controlled the ball, nearly having possession twice as much as the Patriots in the first quarter. 49ers have never or have not lost a Sunday game in December since 1980. They've lost Sunday nights, but not Sunday afternoon. Craig for a couple. It'll be 2nd down, and Brent Williams making the stop for the Patriots as the Giants, who have already clinched the NFC East, take a lead. This is the 49ers' second game on artificial turf this year. They lost their previous game in New Orleans. Once upon a time, they were dominant on turf.
I wonder if a little quick play action would be effective here.
2nd down and 8. Craig can't get around the corner, and Raymond Claiborne, who has been the best defensive back and the leader of the secondary for the Patriots, despite Ronnie Lepet's 8 interceptions, made the stop.
And I think a pitch out play like that was really because they anticipated an inside blitz by the Patriots. They've been having so much success getting inside the 49ers have it. A good call that time, even though it didn't work. If by chance the Pats would have come with an inside blitz, that would have been a walk-in touchdown for Craig.
3rd and 8 at the 13. Montana up top, and it's intercepted. Dwight Clark was the intended receiver, but the pass is intercepted by Raymond Claiborne. Third interception for Claiborne, and that snuffs out a 49er threat.
In the game, we call this steal on steal. These are two great ones, and while Clark has the position, it's a poor throw from Joe Montana. Dwight Clark had Claiborne by about a stride and a half, and he had to come to almost a complete halt to wait for the football. And I think Joe knew it the minute he let it go. Sometimes a quarterback can think too much about the throw. I think Montana did it there rather than just instinctively throwing it.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Tony Collins tries to get some blocking up front. Brings it out to the 23.5-yard line. Wayne Board making the stop. Collins comes into the game 4th in the conference in receiving. That's been his strength. He was been shut out only once this year as a receiver, that by the Miami Dolphins.
But unfortunately, it's the ground game, as every Patriot running back has below a 3-yard average. Collins at 2.6, James at 2.7, and Tutupu at only 2.2. That's just hard to get through a whole season with numbers like that.
Eason is nearly 5 yards a carry. He's been their best that way. 2nd and 6 at the 24. And Collins again tripped up. Raymond Berry told us yesterday we may not gain anything, but we're going to continue to try to run.
Well, he said it really doesn't matter what's happened up to now. Okay, everyone knows we can't run the football, or we haven't through 14 weeks. He said if we start now and continue it through the playoffs, everyone will forget about our past inadequacies. They really aren't off to a very good start today.
Raymond Claiborne, one away from the all-time Patriot lead. That would be his 30th interception, the next one. It is 3rd and 6 now at the 24. Handoff to Collins. And Collins dives forward. See where they spot the ball. He got to the 30-yard line. Tim McKyer making the tackle. And there's an injured 49er on the field. And it appears to be McKyer.
I think McKyer hurt himself trying to make that tackle. I believe he threw his legs trying to bring down the ball carrier, and I believe he hurt himself. Well, obviously he's hurt, but he may have done it trying to throw out a leg to bring down Collins.
They're going to measure for the first down. Here's the play again.
We'll see McKyer coming in from the right of our screen. Yeah, you can see it right there as he throws out his right leg. Whether it was intentional or not, I'm not sure, but it may have flexed too much when it hit Tony Collins.
With your purchase of game day, you will receive a free pennant.
This is Tim McKyer right here. Watch as he moves past Tony Collins. He's going to throw out his right leg into Collins to bring him down. He makes the tackle. Now watch him. He knows he's too far. There he throws the right leg in right there into Collins' thigh. That flexes his knee. And Tim McKyer, walking around now on the 49er bench, appears to be at least not hurt too bad.
Rich Camarillo on 4th and 1 comes in to kick. Don Griffin is back at safety for the 49ers, and another low end-over-end kick, and it takes a 49er bounce and is down at the 42-yard line. So the 49ers, after the 28-yard kick, will have good field position, trailing 10-7. Well, next Saturday on CBS Sports, and as usual array of great talent. 1st and 10 at the 42. Joe Montana going up top to Roger Craig. And Roger Craig barrels his way down to the 11-yard line. A 48-yard gain. Fred Marion makes the tackle.
This time the Patriots come with a blitz. See it to the left side of the screen. Don Blackman is picked up, and the seam is right down the middle, and I don't know that Joe Montana could have thrown that any better, and Roland James can't make the tackle, and luckily Fred Marion has to come all the way across the field and bring down Roger Craig.
And that's the longest pass completion for Joe Montana this year. 45 yards had been his previous, and Craig has caught 3 big ones.
And that was an instinctive throw. Perfect.
First and goal at the 10. Rathman is in the game, but the call is Cribbs. And Joe Cribbs gets to the 6-yard line. For the 49ers, who have kept it on the ground and have been impressive with their running game, strike on a big 48-yard play to set up what could give them a touchdown and a lead over the Patriots here with 10.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Rice to the right, Clark to the left. Here's Rathman. Johnny Rembert makes the stop on Tom Rathman, who scored his first NFL touchdown on a 29-yard run against the Jets last Sunday.
And 2 straight times now the 49ers challenged the middle of the Patriot line, where they've had a lot of success, and the Patriots were there. Good defensive play both times. They're not going to make it easy for San Francisco near the goal line.
Third and goal at the 6. Cribbs with cross blocking. And Joe Cribbs. 49ers are calling it a touchdown. Johnny Rembert makes the tackle a yard away from the goal line. Cribbs pleading his case. It'll be 4th down. Ronnie Lepet is shaken up for the Patriots and is being tended to right now. So 2 cornerbacks, 1 on each club, have been hurt. McHire for the 49ers, and now Lepet, who leads the AFC coming into this game with 8 interceptions.
It's Andre Tippett right here. He's going to loop to the inside. The contain's going to have to come from here, and wouldn't you know it that the 49ers are going to go outside the Patriot blitz. See Tippett loop to the inside, and the contain man, Brent Williams, is caught to the inside. And behind Randy Cross, there goes Joe Cribbs. You know, some coaches say it's nothing more than a chess game out there. If I call this while you call that, I win. That time, the 49ers called the right play against the right defense.
It's like those parlor games. You know, you roll the dice right, and they're in a certain defense. You get a touchdown, and you leave your friend's house saying, I beat you.
That's exactly. Ronnie Lepet is up. He appears to be okay. And you know what? If they go up right tackle there, Dick, Andre Tippett makes the play for a 3-yard loss.
Ernest Gibson replaces Lepet. It'll be 4th and goal at the 1, and the 49ers will try to take the lead here with Rathman and Craig at running back. Montana, no signal yet. I don't think he got it, and the Patriots have held on 4th down. Brent Williams and Johnny Rembert brings the Sullivan Stadium crowd to its feet. And the Patriots take over on down.
If you're the line judge standing astride the goal line, this is what you see. Montana up into the air. And no, it didn't appear that he got the football across the goal line. The helmet maybe, but not the football. And Bill Walsh has to be saying to himself, why didn't I give it to a running back?
But a lot of times the quarterback sneak gets it done even better, but not that time.
And sometimes the quarterback sneak gets the call even if he doesn't make it.
First down, and Mosi Tatupu tries to drill his way out and may have gotten a yard off left tackle. 9:22 remaining in the first half, and the Patriots' 10-7 lead was in jeopardy. Raymond Berry's club still has the lead. Jim Fawnhorst making the tackle on Tatupu. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Raymond Berry said, you know what I love about my football team? Every time they've had a must football game in the last couple of years, they've won the game. And he's right, they have. Except the Super Bowl.
Tatupu and Ronnie Lott stormed in and nearly got Tatupu at the goal line. So it'll be 3rd down, and now the Patriots anxious to get out of danger here, and the 49ers trying to put the clamps on. And of course, They did lose the Super Bowl, but when you get that far and having so many important games, that says something about the character of your team, and Raymond Berry says they've got a lot of that.
And you know, the Super Bowl is not a must game. The must games are getting to the Super Bowl.
3rd and 9. Eason swings it out to Tupu, and he'll be stopped well short of a first down at the 7-yard line by Carlton Williamson. So while the 49ers did not push it over on 4th and 1, they now look at some good field position perhaps as Camarillo comes in to kick it away for New England.
And Raymond Berry had to have a little shiver go up his spine as you see a completed pass 3 yards deep in your own end zone. Tupu still had to run 3 yards before he even crossed the goal line. That's a very, very risky pass.
Camarillo doesn't have much room back there, and Don Griffin is already inside the Patriot 40, waiting to receive the kick. Good kick for Camarillo, sends Griffin back to the 45. And he dives forward to the 33-yard line, a 38-yard kick, and Tupu makes the stop after Griffin's 12-yard return. So the 49ers will have another chance in good field position.
Good quality people. They've had a lot of bad publicity, but you've got to like this team.
2 tight ends and 1 running back. Roger Craig accelerates, and Roger Craig, with great strength, gets a first down close to the 15-yard line. Raymond Claiborne, with help from Fred Marion, make the tackle. Chalk up 17 for Roger Craig, who looks like he's in midseason form.
Well, he gets 17 on the run, and about 10 of it comes after he breaks the tackle. But the huge hole at the line of scrimmage, but Don Blackman just can't bring him down. And Roger Craig, who's broken at least 4 tackles so far and maybe picked up a bonus 25 or 30 yards after broken tackles, having a sensational football game.
Craig has gained 58 yards, and now you see how important first down has been for both clubs today, but New England still leads, keep it in mind. Pass overthrown for John Frank, the tight end, and Claiborne was there. It stops the clock with 6:36 remaining in the first half. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 16 for Joe Montana. A lot of people thought his career might have been over, and I don't think anyone expected him to come back and play and even produce this year.
No, when you make $1 million a year, as does Joe Montana, I think the temptation would have been very real to just spend a year, get yourself back in good shape, and throw your first pass next year in training camp. You have to admire his competitive spirit.
2nd and 10, and it's Cribbs on the reverse. Joe Cribbs to the 10-yard line is ridden out of bounds by Roland James, and a great block by Guy McIntyre, and it may be another first down for the 49ers. And it is.
Boy, what a well-designed play. This is Guy McIntyre, the left guard. Cribbs is just going to go, come back around, and watch him follow McIntyre's block. Boy, that's Roger Craig, rather, on the feed. Cribbs was on the wing, but there's McIntyre. He puts Ernest Gibson on the ground. Boy, that's just a well-conceived play. The containment to that side for New England, over pursuit.
1st and goal at the 4. Roger Craig fighting for the goal line. Stopped short. The 49ers thought he had it. Craig himself appears to be in the end zone, but he was stopped shy of the goal line by Lawrence McGrew and Fred Marion from the secondary.
This time Roger Craig is going to follow the lead block of Joe Cribbs. Cribbs doesn't get much on anything, but boy, it's very difficult to see that time if maybe his knee wasn't down before Craig fell into the end zone. That obviously was the call by the official.
It'll be 2nd and goal at the 1. Patriots held the last time the Niners were down there. Rathman is in the game, and Cribbs is over for the touchdown. Make it Craig. Roger Craig scores the touchdown for the 49ers.
Touchdown for San Francisco.
Who take the lead.
Well, we took a look at it from ground level last time when Montana tried it on the sneak. The 49ers having a change of heart this time, give it to Roger Craig. I thought he timed his leap a little prematurely. It looks like he went up in the air before he had to, but came down across the goal line and puts the 49ers out front.
It is 13-10 with 5:42 remaining, and now Ray Wershing will try to add the 14th point with Morosky holding.
They're rushing on the conversion. Morosky holding.
And they bobble it. Morosky, no chance. And the conversion is clubbed. And the 49ers will have to be satisfied with a 13-10 advantage, which changes things.
The snap looked pretty good. Let's look at it from this angle. No, it was low. Take that back. The snap was low. Skipped off the ground right underneath Mike Morosky's hands. And that is a costly point. A field goal would now tie it for New England.
It was the center who made the bad snap on the conversion. Thus, the 49er lead is 13-10 instead of 14-10. And Wersching will be kicking off to Stephen Starring, who is deep for the Patriots. And Starring will keep it there for the touchback. And the Patriots will start it out from their 20. A little overzealous coverage. Crowd looking for a penalty. Nothing coming. Let's take a look at the scoring drive. And they did it on the ground. In fact, of the 30 plays so far for the 49ers, 23 have been of the running variety, and that's something Raymond Berry would like to see with his club.
Absolutely. We'll see the Packers and the Giants at the Meadowlands. The Giants in quest of the home field advantage all the way through the playoffs.
And they've been the most impressive team in the NFL. 1st and 10 at the 20. Reggie Dupard fighting his way to the 24-yard line. That's the time remaining in the first half. Tackled by Ricky Ellison and Keena Turner. This is what they've done. We told you about the 49ers on the ground. Patriots going the same way.
Well, they've balanced it out 11-8. Rushing to passing is really more what in line that New England was looking for. But geez, talk about imbalance. Look at the 49ers and how often they've rushed.
2nd and 6 at the 24. Eason under some pressure. And up the middle. And the pass to Greg Beatty is complete. Short of a first down by just about a yard, and Ricky Ellison making the tackle. Beatty played at Stanford, and his roommate there was John Pay, their outstanding quarterback. And Beatty told us yesterday that he talks to Pay every Monday and is trying to get him ready for the NFL. He tells him his daily routine, even what he cooks as far as meals. He says he's never lived alone, and I'm just trying to get him ready for his pro career next year.
Sounds exciting.
3rd and 1 at the 29. It may be for Pay. Dupard is stopped shy of a first down. Carlton Williamson, who has made a career out of forcing the run from strong safety, with a fine play here.
This is Carlton Williamson right here. Let's watch him as he comes up and forces on the football play. This is the way the strong safety is supposed to support the run. Takes on the lead block, stuffs it, forces it back to the inside. Hawthorne that time stood up by Carlton Williamson, and that's why Williamson, a Pro Bowl strong safety.
It's 4th down. Rich Camarillo in to kick it again for the Patriots. Don Griffin. Griffin at the 32. Out to the 40. Tutupu on the tackle. A 39-yard kick. 3:22 remain in the first half. Necessary roughness flag was thrown against Greg Hawthorne, apparently, after the last play, and they marked off 15 yards. A big 15 for the 49ers, and that will put them into New England territory. 1st and 10 at the Patriot 44, leading 13-10 with 3:22 to go. Keep in mind that the Patriots had a lead of 10-7. The 49ers scored and missed the conversion on a bad snap. Next Saturday will be at Giants Stadium. Packers, and the Giants hope that they'll have the home field advantage throughout. Play action to Montana. And here's Francis wide open to the 25, and Russ Francis with some fancy footwork gets inside the 15 before Fred Marion brings him down, and a gain of 32 to the veteran. And a big play to Russ Francis.
Russ Francis said, well, maybe I can't run the long fly pattern down the middle like I used to, but boy, I'm really great on the 5-yarders, and that's what that one was right there. But look how open. We still don't get a Patriot coming into the picture until way too late. Gibson dives and can't make the tackle, and somehow the Patriots are going to have to solidify their coverage on the short zone as one of their players is down, Dick.
Raymond Claiborne is shaken up right with a back injury, and of course Steve Nelson, the veteran linebacker, will come in place of Claiborne as you look at the impressive total offense edge by San Francisco. But on the scoreboard, it's only 3 points. 1st and 10 at the 13. Craig. Penalty marker down as Craig gets inside the 10-yard line. Stop was made by Prophet, who just entered the game, and Fred Marion, and that will go against the red-shirted 49ers.
Somebody was tied up at the point of attack. The flag came down near John Frank, the tight end. Let's see if that's who was flagged.
Holding, 62 offense. 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Guy McIntyre, the left guard.
I'm sorry, Dick. Filling in for John Ayers again, who's missing this game because of a sore knee.
1st and 20. Back to the 23. Montana wings it out to Craig, who can't get away from Johnny Rembert, and brings it up to the 18-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play. Rembert making his 6th start at left inside linebacker. He and Lawrence McGrew have had to move around a lot because of Patriot injuries at linebacker this year.
Well, guys who normally would play on the inside had to move to the outside to cover for Andre Tippett. Larry McGrew, who's normally inside, been there for 3 years, had to go outside. Rembert the same. That time, by the way, he did a fine job of covering.
When we Niners lead the Patriots, timeouts. Each team has the full complement with 2 minutes remaining, and almost the entire 2nd quarter has been played in Patriot territory. Patriots thus far 3 plays and a punt on each possession. But 2nd and 14 for Montana. Prophet and Gibson are the cornerbacks. Did not start for the Patriots. Pass to Cribbs. Incomplete. Fred Marion defending on the play.
When all 3 arrive in the same place at the same time, that's what it looks like. Fred Marion, Joe Cribbs, and the football. That's about as well as you can play it for Fred Marion, the Pro Bowl free safety for the Patriots. Big down New England can't afford. Let San Francisco pick up a 1st down here.
At the 17, neither team has converted on 3rd down so far. Montana completes it to Jerry Rice, but they don't get anything. They lose. Back to the 20-yard line, a loss of 3. Roland James. So we've seen Marion and James. Maybe the safeties have to pick up the slack with the backups in at cornerback for the Patriots, and they've done it in the last 2 plays.
And where the Patriots before this have looked pretty sloppy in their tackling, they've gotten a good couple of tackles here. Rembert, remember, on the 1st down plays, Rice appears to have twisted his ankle a bit, and that time Roland James, a good solid hit on Jerry Rice, brings on Wershing.
Wershing, 21 out of 30 this year. This will be a 36-yard attempt. And Wershing's kick is good. So Wershing, who didn't even have a chance on a conversion, makes good on a field goal, and with 1:05 remaining in the half, 49ers have opened up their lead to 6.
Been in New England territory and yet have 16 points on the board when it could have been a lot more. The bad snap on the extra point, a New England touchdown here, and a successful PAT gives them the lead. The interception in the end zone. 49ers have wasted a lot of opportunities.
Stephen Starring at the 5. And Starring carries it out to the 26-yard line. Tackled by Torrey Nixon. Coming up at halftime, Brent Irv and Dick Vermeil in the studio with scores and highlights. Chicago's musical quarterbacks, and you know that story. Of course, Dan, you talk about those situations. Keep in mind a goal line stand when the Patriots stopped the 49ers on 4th and 1.
Bill Walsh has to tell his team at halftime, hey guys, if we'd have capitalized on our opportunities, we'd be on the other side of 30 points. Certainly not the case now. They don't even have a 1-touchdown lead.
1st and 10 at the 26. Each team has 3 timeouts remaining. 3 wide receivers for New England. Eason to Tony Collins. Flag is down. And so is Collins by Jeff Fuller. And another penalty marker has been thrown. So 2 penalties here. And Gene Barth will sort it out.
Well, one on the line of scrimmage and one came flying in from the back judge out of the secondary. These will be her.
Eason's pass nearly picked off. And it was Tom Holmoe who has 2 touchdowns amongst his 3 interceptions and almost had another one here.
And this is the kind of an interception that after Holmoe would have caught the ball, if he could have just walked into the end zone. Again, wasted opportunities by the 49ers.
He almost had 4 and 3, 4 interceptions and 3 scores.
And yet New England still in the shotgun.
2nd and 10 with 48 seconds remaining in the half. Eason's pass up the middle is caught by the tight end Greg Beatty. And 3 49ers hold him up right there. And now it's at stake for them now that they've won the NFC East is home field advantage, and they have to win their last 2 games for that. Cowboys with their slim hopes leading Philadelphia. No score in the Battle of the Bays, and this is a big one in the AFC.
That it is. Cleveland, if they win today, they're in prime real estate. They lead the Bengals 14-3. Hotly contested game there. Buffalo up by 2 touchdowns over Indianapolis.
And the Browns would win the AFC Central with a victory. They would have a 2-game lead with 1 to play, but Cincinnati very much 2 at the 39. Eason with time completes it to Morgan. And the extra effort will give the Patriots a 1st down at the 45-yard line. Jeff Fuller making the tackle. And now the Patriots call another timeout. For the last 6 years, the team with the home field advantage in the NFC has gone on to play in the Super Bowl.
And somehow I imagine the Giants have something the Giants would very much relish. I don't blame them.
Who will ever forget Landetta on the mythical punt? 1st and 10, Patriots on their own 45. Not much time remaining and only 1 timeout. Eason fires it, and it's caught. And that time it was Morgan again. Morgan caught a 38-yard pass to set up the 1st touchdown of the game for the Patriots. That was good for 13 yards. And the clock stops with 19 seconds to go. And
superb throw that time by Tony Eason.
Cedric Jones, number 83, replaces Stephen Starring, and they line up in a trips formation. 3 wide receivers to the left. Eason goes up the middle, and Tina Turner clobbered Tony Collins coming out of the backfield.
Tina Turner, the most talented. You see him, number 58. He's sitting right underneath. They're going to play the deep zone. He reads that play all the way. Did he get there before the football? The referees say no.
Big play linebacker. They have big play men at every stage, including Ronnie Lott. Their most physical players are not on the defensive line. 2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers to the right. And that pass is picked off. Intercepted by Jeff Fuller. And Fuller will run it out of bounds at the Patriot 47-yard line. Jones was the intended receiver for Tony Eason, but Fuller was there for his 4th interception of the year.
The Patriots split all 3 wide receivers to the right side. Eason's looking that way all the way. And boy, that was just, I guess you could say, a lucky interception by Fuller as he was laying on the ground when the football came right into his arms. Eason underthrowing the ball. Not often you get an interception when you're laying on the ground.
And the 49ers have broken their club record for interceptions this year. That was their 35th of the season. And with 6 seconds remaining,
New England stand
the
in last
Patriots
timeout.
they want on the field for what could be the final play of this first half. Raymond Claiborne, by the way, is back in action at cornerback. Ernest Gibson is still playing the other cornerback position in place of Ronnie Lepet, who was shaken up and hasn't returned. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the top of your screen at the 47 of New England. Montana going to where the 1 was. And 1 second, and now the clock runs down. Rice was the intended receiver. Eugene Profit was defending, and the time runs out. And that's the end of the first half at Sullivan Stadium. The 49ers.
And again, it's the Patriot defense that comes up with another huge play. And a touchdown and the extra point gives the Patriots a lead. A lot of wasted opportunities for the 49ers.
49er bench is now in the shade as we start the second half.
And a little of that thin California blood right now, I think, feeling the wind chill here in New England. It is very, very cold. And, of course, some nice visual effects on the sidelines as the Patriots have conveniently blocked up a little snow and left it lay there. One of the Patriot officials told me yesterday, you know, we could have easily hauled this snow out of here, but we thought the 49ers might enjoy looking at a little snow during the course of the ballgame.
Sure. Yeah. Bill Walsh is saying now, guys, don't look at the snow, whatever you do.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Let's talk about the play selection. We've been harping on the fact that Raymond Berry was looking for balance. He's got the balance right now, although he doesn't have the yards, and the 49ers look like they've been running a lot more.
Yeah, and they've been running effectively, especially between the tackles. The Patriots giving up a lot of yardage in the middle, and of course the Patriots, they haven't moved the football on the ground at all. What's new, though, they're the worst rushing team in the National Football League.
And it's amazing. At 10-4, they've been able to do it without any running at all. They gained 2 yards against New Orleans 2 weeks ago, so that's a credit to Raymond Berry's cohesiveness on the ball club. Eason
Done this before. He's such an accomplished coach. If you're not going to have a lot of success running the football, I don't think we're going to see him do it once he realizes he can't. I don't know if he's to that point yet, Dick.
Stephen Starring is back deep for the Patriots. Ray Wershing will be kicking off for the 49ers. 49ers have won all 3 games so far this year against AFC East opponents. But on the other hand, the Patriots have won all 3 games against NFC West opponents. So something's got to give here. Underway with a good kickoff by Wershing. And Starring will down it there for a touchback. So Wershing, while he's been a little inconsistent with his field goals this year, has really been much better on his kickoffs. And the Patriots will start on the 21st and 10.
Especially with the wind at his back. And of course the 49ers, when they have the ball offensively this period, will have the wind, and Tony Eason now has to take his Patriot offensive team into the wind and trailing by 6.
Those are his numbers so far. He has 17 touchdowns and 9 interceptions on the year. Collins into Tupu are the running backs. Eason will go to the air and completes it to Beatty. And the tight end doing fine work, has a first down and more to the 35-yard line, a gain of 17 before Carlton Williamson brings him down.
Beatty working underneath. He's going to come into our picture just coming in from right to left, and really Jim Fonhorst, the linebacker to that side, had the positioning, but Beatty gives him a little bit of a hand to the face, and Fonhorst can't make the tackle. And good surge, good effort that time by Greg Beatty.
5th reception of the game, 1st and 10 Patriots on their 37. Eason to the sideline, overthrown, tipped Fryer, the intended receiver, and he was covered by Don Griffin. Irving Fryer, to give you an example of the Patriot running woes, led the club in rushing last week with 34 yards, both coming on reverses. He had 2 carries on reverses, 34 yards, and that was it for New England.
And a lot of people are blaming it on the retirement of John Hanna, the all-pro left guard who called it quits this year. And some of the Patriot offensive linemen are a little sensitive about that. They feel that really denigrates their ability to when you say that it's because Hannah retired.
2nd and 10 at the 37th. Eason again to throw. Drills it, and it's caught. Stanley Morgan, and a first down into 49er territory. Gain of 20 yards. Keena Turner on the tackle.
And as we saw in the Patriots' first drive, Morgan coming out of the tight end position. The toughest pass route to defend when you have protection is a crossing pattern. Stanley Morgan working against the zone wide open, but it's because Tony Eason had all the time in the world back in the pocket, and the 49ers seem to have trouble picking up Morgan when he lines up at tight end.
Beatty and Morgan combined have 9 catches today for New England. They're at the 42 of the 49ers. 1st and 10. Collins doesn't get much. Might have gotten to the 40. Charles Haley making the tackle. And for the 49ers, Tim McKyer, their rookie cornerback who was shaken up in the first half, has returned to the lineup here in the second.
Very discouraging to an offensive coach when on a first down play in the opponent's territory, all you can muster up is a couple of yards.
McKyer from Texas Arlington with 4 interceptions coming in. 2nd down and 8 at the 40. Eason down and sacked back at the 46 by Queen Board, the veteran of 2 Super Bowls, and with 4 men front. Pee-wee, they call him, got to Eason.
Yeah, this time the 49ers come with 4 down linemen. Here they are. But really give credit to this to the 49ers secondary, because Tony Eason, as you'll see, has time to throw the football. He sees a guy, but he's going to have to pull it back down. He pulls it back down because the coverage was there. Good play by a quarterback. You're better off taking the sack than throwing the interception, obviously.
Loss of 6. 2nd sack of the game for San Francisco. 3rd and 14 at the 46. Eason tipped up in the air, and it's caught by a Patriot, and that appears to be Stephen Starring, and it'll be shy of a first down. It was tipped by Tom Holmoe and caught by Starring for a 13-yard gain.
A free ball. We'll take a look at Starring coming into the middle, but the tip will be to the left of the screen, out of our picture. Ooh, and that ball close to hitting the ground. Boy, that ball might have touched the ground before Starring had possession. But still a good alert play by Stephen Starring. Let's look at it. Well, actually, he had possession of the football. The football's touching the ground. That's an extremely difficult call to make.
It's 4th and 1, and the Patriots go for it. Tupu has the first down. On 4th and 1, Raymond Berry said go for the first down, and Mosi Tupu is short yardage expert. Gets the first down, and it takes Williamson and Holmoe to prevent worse damage against the 49ers.
And Tupu may be the most popular player on the Patriot team. Almost broke it for the score.
1st and 10 at the San Francisco 25. Eason has Tupu. And Ronnie Lott and company bring him down at the 20. A gain of 5 yards on the play. Eason has been doing most of his work through the air on this first drive of the second half.
I think we'll see Jim Fonhorst, number 55, blitzing up the middle, but he's picked up by the Patriot offensive line, and Ellison misses the tackle. Tupu with a nifty little move back to the inside. Picks up valuable yardage.
They passed 6 out of 8 plays on this drive. 2nd and 5 at the 20. Eason, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Ricky Ellison, the middle linebacker, might have gotten his hand on there, and that's who it was. Big play by Ellison kind of stops the momentum, momentarily at least, by the Patriots.
It was Ricky Ellison who gets his hand on the football. This is going to be a quick timing pattern. 3 steps, plant, and drop. But there's the bat at the line of scrimmage.
Third down and 5 at the 20. 10:06 remaining in the third quarter. 16-10, San Francisco. Eason has Morgan. 16-yard gain to Stanley Morgan, and it's first and goal for the Patriots at the 5.
It's an all-out blitz by San Francisco, and Morgan again on the crossing pattern. So difficult to defend. He's working perfectly underneath the zone. And that's the biggest third down conversion the Patriots have had so far this ball game.
4 passes for 66 yards on this drive, and Morgan, like Beatty, with 5 receptions. It'll be first and goal at the 5 for the Patriots. That was only their second third down conversion of the game. Collins slices in. Touchdown, New England. Third touchdown of the year for Tony Collins. Tony Franklin, with Eason holding, will try to give the Patriots the lead. And he does. So the mixed conversion on a bad snap has come back to haunt the 49ers, and the Patriots lead at 17-16 on Collins' score.
Let's take a look at this touchdown play. This is Greg Hawthorne. He's going to come in and trap block on Manu Tuiasosopo, and we're going to hit it right up in the middle and watch the left guard, Trevor Maddich, get his block on Ricky Ellison. Maddich out on Ellison. Block picked off by Tuiasosopo, and Tony Collins into the end zone. The Patriots with a 1-point lead.
And a big 80-yard drive. Lead the 49ers 17-16 on a drive chiefly through the air, engineered by Tony Eason, but scored on the ground. And Franklin's kickoff coming down to Bill Ring at the 15. And Ring staggers his way out to the 30-yard line. There's the scoring drive, and there were 4 passes for 66 yards that set up the go-ahead touchdown.
Let's look at the touchdown play again. Watch the confusion in the 49ers secondary. When Hawthorne goes in motion and then Fryer splits to this side, they're really confused. They still don't have any idea who's going to take who. You can see Williamson trying to wave everybody, and then Tutupu, right at the line of scrimmage, drops Ronnie Lott and Collins into the end zone.
First and 10 Niners on their own 30-yard line. Cribbs. Look downfield and check the defense, and Lawrence McGrew brings him down at the 36-yard line, and a good gain of 7 yards for Joe Cribbs as the Giants widen their lead against St. Louis.
And what's significant, I think, about the Patriot touchdown is that they went 80 yards. Of the 4 touchdowns scored in this ball game, that's the only one that started in their own territory. The other 3 started in the opponent's territory.
Second and 3 at the 37. Cribbs might have lost control momentarily, but he got it back. And now the Patriot defense will try to stop Montana and company from moving the sticks. Toby Williams and Brent Williams combining on the play. 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. There is the play selection balance. It was in favor of rushing for the Patriots until that last drive. Third and 4 at the 36. Montana. Incomplete. You wonder whether someone got a piece of that ball the way it was fluttering.
Well, he had nowhere to go with the football. That time the Patriots secondary smothered everyone in a red jersey. Joe Montana had absolutely no choices from which to select, nowhere to go.
Max Runeker is in the kick for San Francisco, and Irving Fryer is back for the Patriots. Fine kick by Runeker sends Fryer back to the 14. And he gets away from a couple of folks before Ron Ferrari helps knock him out of bounds. A 50-yard kick by Runeker, but the Patriots with the lead. Patriots 17, San Francisco 49ers 16, and Tony Eason, who engineered that last drive, now has completed 262 passes this season, a new Patriot record. Came into the game as the third-rated passer in the AFC. First and 10 on the New England 27. On the draw, Collins is stopped by Keena Turner. Fine play by Turner and a loss on the play by Collins. Lost by 2 yards.
49ers changed up a little bit that time. They sent Keena Turner rushing like a lineman. They dropped Charles Haley, who normally comes in as a defensive end. They dropped him back in coverage.
Loss of 3, second and 13. Eason going to Beatty as tight end for his 6th reception of the ball game. And Beatty gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe 1 yard. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Michael Walter making the tackle on Beatty. Keep in mind that the Patriots lost their starting tight end Lynn Dawson, and a lot of people talk about where the running game went. That could be another factor.
Yeah, they have not yet replaced Dawson as far as his blocking is concerned. Neither Beatty nor Hawthorne or Willie Scott, all their tight ends, none of them can block as well as Lynn Dawson. He won't be back till next year.
3 wide receivers. 3rd and 9. Eason. And falling down was an intended receiver for the Patriots, Irving Fryer, who was wide open. I don't know about that pass because it was thrown cross field, but Fryer slipped, so there was no way he was going to catch that ball.
Wide open he was. Irving Fryer didn't have a 49er within 5 yards of. That's Irving Fryer, who's going to leave our screen there in the lower left-hand corner. And he just tripped all by himself and went down. Whether or not he could have caught the ball, I don't know.
Rich Camarillo punting for the 5th time, and Don Griffin goes back for the 49ers. Good kick by Camarillo. Griffin stopped at the 39-yard line. Losi Tatupu following the 38-yard kick. Now let's tell you what we have in store on the agenda for next Saturday. 1st and 10. Montana with the fake gets hit by Don Blackman. And every time Montana gets hit, you got to hold your breath, I guess, these days.
Well, he's shown that he can take a hit because he's been dropped a few times. We've got an injured 49er down on the play, but boy, the fake that time to Roger Craig sure got Garen Barris to bite on it, but Don Blackman came in and made the play. Dick, can you see which 49er's down?
It's either Fawnhorst. It is Fawnhorst, the 13-year veteran right tackle, as you see him.
There he is to the right side of the screen. Let's see what happens. That's Blackman coming in from the backside, and he and Montana fall into the back of Keith Fawnhorst's leg as he limps to the 49er sideline.
He is the dean of the offensive linemen. You talked about the aging lineman. He is a 13-year veteran who will now be replaced at right tackle by a rookie, Steve Wallace, out of Auburn. So that's not going to help the 49er cause up front as Montana brings them out 2nd and 10 at the 39 with 5:54 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Montana going for Rice and overthrowing Ernest Gibson on the coverage.
Similar to the type of pattern that New England has been having success with, going to Stanley Morgan. That time it was Jerry Rice on a crossing pattern out in front of Ernest Gibson, and yet Joe Montana that time just a little too far out in front of Jerry Rice.
Third down and 10. Montana on the year, 6 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions. The audible at the line of scrimmage. The blitz. And Montana overthrows Dwight Clark. And it'll be 4th down with Claiborne covering Clark. And Runager has to come in and kick it away. And Dan, the Patriot defense had kept them close in that first half, trailing by only 6. Done the job here with a lead as Pryor goes back to return the punt.
And we talked at halftime about wasted opportunities by the 49ers. A lot of football still left to be played in this game, but San Francisco has to remember their 2 mistakes in Patriot territory.
Runager gets off a beauty. Pryor fields it inside the 10. And dropped at the 8-yard line by Torrey Nixon and Jim Farnhorst. A 54-yard kick by Max Runager. It's a beautiful day in New England. Here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And the Patriots would make it even more beautiful for their fans if they would win and wrap up a playoff berth. If they can hold their lead against the 49ers. They start out on the 9-yard line with 5:31 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Eason to Pryor. Nowhere to go. And Charles Haley makes the stop at the 11-yard line, a gain of 2. Patriots with a victory today would go to the playoffs again and a chance to defend their Super Bowl title. 2 victories by New England would wrap up the division championship. But even if the Patriots lose today and beat Miami in their last game of the season by virtue of a better division record, they would win the AFC West as well, East as well. But they lost last week, and you don't want to go into the playoffs having lost 2 of your last 3. As Collins carries. Hits Ronnie Lott, bounces off, and may have a 1st down. And Lott appreciates Collins' hustle and gives him a pat on the helmet.
Almost knocked him out with that pat on the helmet.
Yeah, I think Collins got the worst of it. He got the worst of it.
That happened in their initial confrontation. Boy, that was a major league collision between Tony Collins and Ronnie Lott. But it was good for a New England 1st down, and one of the rare bursts in the running game by New England is Morgan over on the New England bench.
At the 19, 1st and 10, Reggie Dupard replaces Collins and gets the carry to the 21, a gain of 2 yards. Dupard has gained over 20 yards today, now 22 on the season. And that's more than what he had gained coming into this game. Keep in mind, he was on injured reserve for 10 weeks. Michael Carter on the tackle there.
The Patriots need to get Stanley Morgan back in the ball game. He's been their biggest threat so far. Morgan on the crossing patterns has been the difference for New England between moving the football and not.
Morgan has caught 5 passes for 94 yards. 2nd and 8 at the 21. Quick pass off of Collins. It'll be 3rd and 8. Collins missed the 2nd quarter of the Bengal game last week with an ankle injury. Scored the only Patriot touchdown. He has scored a touchdown on the ground today for New England. Patriots have had leads of 7-0 and 10-7. The 49ers had leads of 13-10 and 16-10. But right now the Patriots are up by 1, 17-16. 3rd and 8 at the 21. Stanley Morgan is back in there. 3 wide receivers too. As they shout the new play. Eason. And it's deflected, incomplete. Morgan was the intended receiver, and he was well covered.
Well, we said Morgan had to get back in the game. He's also got to get open. This time working against Don Griffin. He got a good shove, but that time coming out from inside. Keena Turner on his coverage made some contact with Stanley Morgan. Inadvertent. yet the ball was in the air.
It's a name we've said a lot today, Keena Turner.
Well, he's always around the football, has been for so long. Pro Bowl linebacker for the 49ers, the key man in their defensive scheme.
Griffin is back, and Camarillo will kick. Not a good kick, as it bounces at the 45 and then takes a Patriot roll and will die there at the 38-yard line. So Camarillo got the roll. It winds up as a 41-yard kick. 49ers get the ball back. Time remaining in the third quarter with the Patriots leading the 49ers. And again, the San Francisco playoff picture is this. If the 49ers win their last 2 games, they will win a wild card berth. If they win 2 and the Rams lose 2 in their final games against LA, 49ers would win. But San Francisco could lose a game if Minnesota also loses a game. 1st and 10 at the 38. Joe Cribbs. And Cribbs, very quietly, has had an outstanding day rushing as he gets a first down just shy of midfield. Gain of 11, stopped by Brent Williams and Fred Marion. And on the day, Cribbs has gained 76 yards.
Let's take a look at it from behind. Guy McIntyre, Bubba Paris both pull from the left side. Randy Cross, the lead guard, fell down. But Cribbs saw nothing to the outside, alertly cut it back upfield. And when you talked to Bill Walsh yesterday, he just knew he was going to have a big game.
Roger Craig protecting the ball into Patriot territory to the 46-yard line. McGrew and Marion on the stop. Craig with 67 yards. And right now, Montana keeping the ball on the ground. He has thrown incomplete passes in his last 5 attempts. And of course, one receiver who has not caught a pass today is Dwight Clark, who caught only 1 against the Jets. And he has a string of 102 consecutive games in which he's caught a pass. 2nd and 5 at the 46. And on a scissors play, it's Joe Cribbs slicing his way to the 42, short of a first down by a yard, and Johnny Rembert making the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 1. Ronnie Lepet was injured in the first half. Bruised ribs was the report. Ernest Gibson replaced him. Bruised knee, we understand. Bruised knee. 1:20 remaining. 3rd and 1. Another test for the New England defense. And the handoff, Cribbs. And we may have a measurement now.
They'll bring in the chains, but by the look of the surge, I thought he had the first down. We'll see where the spot, my opinion, doesn't count for much down on the field.
It appeared he did have it by going underneath, but they're going to measure it now. Cribbs has scored a touchdown today for the 49ers, and where they looked like they didn't spot the ball where we thought he wound up.
No, he's either going to get it by an inch or lose it by an inch.
And it's going to be decision time for Bill Walsh. Fourth down and inches at the 42 of New England. Patriots already stopped a 4th and 1 by the 49ers. Montana has the first down. So the quarterback sneak that didn't work at the goal line in the first half works here, and the 49ers keep the ball.
Did you see the difference between the quarterback sneaks, though? The first time when Joe Montana didn't make it, he went to the air. He tried to jump over the center and got caught in midair and didn't make it. That time, he stayed on his feet, let his line get a surge, and then just took it off right guard. Normally a much more effective way to run it the way they just did it.
Nothing fancy. It gets the job done. And Irving Fryer is being helped off the field. Another Patriot injury. 1st and 10 at the 40. Montana goes the Safeway and goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line and picks up 5. As we pick up again Fryer, who is limping off, being helped off the field. Bruised right foot is the word on Irving Fryer. It must be the left foot. And because if it's the right foot, he could play.
Yeah.
He's going for x-rays now.
Yeah, think we'll call that a bruised left foot. Raymond Berry can't be very happy about that.
2nd and 4 at the 34-yard line. 49ers today have rushed for over 5 yards a carry, well above their season's average. Montana has his man, completes to Dwight Clark, and Clark now has caught a pass in 103 consecutive games. Good for 12 yards and another San Francisco first down. As the clock winds down and the third quarter is history. And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. And Dan Deerdorf restart the fourth quarter, and Keith Monhorst returns to right tackle for the 49ers, who have a 1st and 10 on the Patriot 21-yard line. Trailing by 1 point. Roger Craig is hit by Toby Williams, the nose tackle, at the 20-yard line, and a gain of 1. And you know, Dan, with Irving Fryer leaving the field for x-rays, you have to hope that maybe they don't allow him to go roaming around in his car. He rammed his car the last time he got hurt, and you know, that's got to come to mind a little bit. You got.
I knew you were going to say that. Somehow I think somebody went with Irving this time. Hopefully he's all right and he'll get back into the ballgame. You're a bad guy, Vic.
2nd and 9 at the 20. And the pass to Dwight Clark is complete and out of bounds. Close to first down yardage at the 11. Ernest Gibson making the tackle. Well, we're just going on past history, Mr.
Oh,
D.
it's a true story. Let's take a look at Joe Montana this time. Boy, a nicely executed sideline pattern. A good look at it from this angle. Joe Montana getting the timing down. I'm sure that completion felt very good to him, because the last several times that he's thrown the football, it's kind of floated on him. That time it was a pinpoint. Not a lot of arc, right to Dwight Clark.
3rd and 1 at the 12. Cribbs and Rathman are the running backs. And Cribbs. What a play by Ed Reynolds, who started last week at inside linebacker. Here's the hit by Reynolds. You can hear it. And he lost the yard.
And that's how you fill a hole. Ed Reynolds, a backup linebacker, in on their short yardage setup. Guessed right that time, filled off right tackle, made the big hit.
Once again, the Patriot defense comes to the fore, and a 31-yard attempt. Wershing with Morosky holding. And this kick is good. A 31-yard field goal by Ray Wershing, his 2nd field goal of the game. And so the 49ers have forged in front of Raymond Berry's team now, 19-17 with 13:34. A lot of time. 49ers having to settle for a field goal, lead 19-17 in this ball game, and looming large is a play earlier in this game.
Yeah, the missed extra point by the 49ers, a low snap. Fred Quillen had to be in there because Randy Cross hurt himself on the previous play. That's the difference between a 2- and a 3-point lead for the 49ers.
Wershing kicking off. Stephen Starring fielding the kickoff at the 15. And brought down at the 26-yard line by Jim Fawnhorse. Well, next Saturday on CBS Sports, 2 of the premier basketball.
Number 31-30 when Zendejas missed an extra point.
First and 10 at the 26. Patriots have passed twice as much as they've run in this half. They go to the air again. Overthrown. Pass intended for Stephen Starring and covered by Don Griffin. So a goal line stand by the Patriot defense, then stopping the 49ers on 3rd and 1, plus an interception in the end zone. We talked about the snap. All add up.
And it's also, I think, worthy to point out again that the 49ers have not converted on a 3rd down yet in this football game. That's unbelievable.
Audible at the line. 2nd and 10 at the 26. And Eason gets away from 2 defenders and throws it incomplete. The tight end, Greg Beatty, was the intended receiver. And they were coming in strong on Tony Eason.
Let's take a look at Tony Eason trying in the pocket, and you know what's going to happen. Larry Roberts, number 91. Watch how he's going to have a shot at Eason's back, but he's going to get knocked off by Dwayne Board right here. Board and Roberts run into each other, and that allows Eason to get out of the pocket. Sometimes you're just lucky.
Michael Carter had the last shot, and Tutupu did the best he could to keep Roberts away. 3rd and 10. Eason has completed only one of his last 6. Goes on the ground to Collins. Fumbles, and the 49ers may have recovered. Tony Collins fumbles, and the 49ers get the ball back, and it was Torrey Nixon who picked up the loose ball. Charles Haley made the hit on Collins. Nixon recovers, and a big turnover. Only the 3rd turnover of the game, and the 49ers are in a threat.
Out of the shotgun, the underneath handoff. Everybody runs this play, but I think we're going to see a helmet right on the football. Haley coming out from the inside, but really coming in from the outside. That's Keena Turner, number 58, that put his hat right on the football and broke it loose.
3 turnovers in the game. This is the first fumble. Each team had an interception, and you saw the turnover story and the fact that coming into this game, 49ers and Patriots were 1 and 2 in the NFL in takeaway, giveaway differential. 1st and 10 at the 30. Craig. Blackman fights off the blockers and knocks him out of bounds at the 27-yard line, a gain of 3.
3-yard pickup by Craig.
Now you have to wonder if the 49ers get themselves into a 3rd down situation, if they'll be able to finally pick up a 1st down. But it's in this area that New England defensively has just been playing some sensational football. Have to give them a great deal of credit defensively.
2nd and 6 at the 26. Montana dumps it off to Cribbs, incomplete. Ed Reynolds hit Cribbs, and it'll be 3rd down. So the 49ers, who have started in Patriot territory 5 times today and have really found a very resisting defensive club in New England.
And I know Bill Walsh has a long list of 3rd down plays. None of them have worked yet. Let's see if he found a winner.
3rd and 6 at the 26. Montana completes to Craig, and a 1st down, and the first 3rd down conversion of the day for the 49ers comes at a good time. A gain of 13. Andre Tippett makes the play.
You wonder if it's intentional the way the 49ers are trying to get Roger Craig working to Andre Tippett's side. Keep in mind that Tippett just back making his first start after being out for a month. As we see plain and simple double coverage on Jerry Rice. He's been very effectively removed from this football game by the Patriots.
And Craig has become the big man. He's caught 5 passes today. 1st and 10 at the 13. Craig backs his way to the 6-yard line. Gain of 4. Fred Marion on the tackle.
You want to see why they got some blocking to that side? Dick, take a look at John Frank, 86, blocking one-on-one on Andre Tippett. He takes him 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, completely out of the play, and stays on it. That's just one heck of a job by John Frank on Andre Tippett.
2nd down and 3 at the 6-yard line. Crafton is in the game, but it's Cribbs up the middle to the 3-yard line. Close to a 1st down for the 49ers. Johnny Rembert making the tackle, and there's concern on the Patriots side because a touchdown here would certainly ease the problem of missing that extra point in the 1st half.
Patriot bench well aware that bad things happen when you fumble the ball in your own territory.
And a turnover like that can nullify all the good things the defense had done prior.
Exactly right.
They did not get the 1st down, so it's 3rd and less than a yard. 49ers winding down to 11 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. by Rice out of bounds, and he'll have the first down. So they go to a pass play at the 3, and they get a yard. First down to Rice.
Boy, and you're right when you say a great catch by Jerry Rice. That ball low and away. Joe has to get rid of it because Tippett on the rush. That ball is dying and dropping, and Jerry just a superb piece of concentration, slowing down and going back. He's going one way, the ball going another. That was a good job.
Todd Christensen was the only man who caught more passes than Jerry Rice coming into this game, but he's caught only 3 today. Here's Cribb. And the Patriots close down. It was Dennis Owens first and then Ed Reynolds. We're going to hear the sound again of an Ed Reynolds tackle. He tackles hard. Second and goal. Craig and Cribbs, the backs. Montana with a lot of time. John Frank was the intended receiver, and it was thrown out of the end zone. And it'll be third down, and one thing you can say about the 49ers in Montana, nothing has come easy for them today, Dan.
Well, and I think a lot of that is because the New England Patriots are playing so well defensively. What happened on that particular play is that they only had one receiver into it. When you run a play action and you put all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak, if that guy's covered, which he was that time, you're in trouble. You got to throw the football away, which is what Montana did.
Third and goal at the 2. Craig. And it's Ed Reynolds' fumble.
I think they're going to rule that down.
The players did not get that message yet. You're right. They ruled it down. Garen Veras and Ed Reynolds. Great defense by the Patriots when they need it.
I think Garen Veras, number 60, was the first player to hit Roger Craig. He spun off his block, made contact, then Ed Reynolds came in and his hit forced the ball out, but you could see the official right there. Nice theatrics. The ball and Craig were down before it came loose.
4 times today, the Patriot defense has not allowed a touchdown in close call situations. A 20-yard field goal attempt by Ray Wersching is good, but the 49ers add to their lead. It is now 22-17. But a touchdown would give New England a 2-point lead. 9:37 remain. The 49ers lead 22-17. Their last 6 points have come off the foot of Ray Wersching, who will be kicking off now to the Patriots. Stephen Starring is back deep. 9:37 remaining in the 4th quarter. In a game that is more of a must game for the 49ers than it is for the Patriots. Fielded by Starring. And holding on for dear life is Tom Rathman for the tackle out at the 32-yard line. The Giants rolling over the Cardinals 20-0 in the 4th quarter. They've already clinched the NFC Eastern Division, but they're looking for bigger game now. They want the home field advantage. Right now they have the same record as the Bears at 12-2. Notice the conference record. They have a better conference record, and if the Giants win today and then beat Green Bay Saturday, they'll have the home field advantage, which has meant a Super Bowl berth in the NFC, and it'll be the Giants and the Packers next Saturday on CBS.
That was really nice, Dick. Good job.
Don't ask me again. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Tony Collins stopped by Larry Roberts, and with the Patriots trailing by 5, the crowd, of course, will probably boo any running play by New England.
Yeah, and you can hardly blame them because of the success the Patriots have not had just today, but all season long. The one thing going for New England right now is one thing. The play of their defense has to be firing up their football team. And secondly, if you've got to come from behind, have the wind at your back. The Patriots do.
2nd and 10 at the 32. Eason is thrown down by Dwayne Board, who gets his 2nd complete sack of the game. A loss of 6 on the play. So Eason, who's having his problems now, is 1 for his last 6 for 2 yards and under a lot more pressure now. And Remember what Bill Walsh told us yesterday? He says we may treat this the same as we did with the Jets. Just tee off on the quarterback if they show they can't run the ball.
And Tony Eason's problems are because of the offensive line. That time they just got blown away. Dwayne Board in the backfield ahead of Tony Eason.
3rd and 16 after 26. Eason's pass intercepted by Keena Turner. And Turner tackled from behind at the 25-yard line by Tony Collins. Or it was Collins who got a piece of the ball. The ball bounced off of Collins into the hands of Keena Turner, and another big turnover.
And Tony Eason hits Collins with the football. Just a crossing pattern right in front of it. You just can't throw it any better than that. And Tony Collins, who's really fallen apart here in the 4th quarter, a fumble and now a ball that he tips up into the air that should have been caught. He's dug a big hole for the Patriots.
And the first interception of the year for Keena Turner. 1st and 10, 49ers at the Patriot 25. Cribbs with cross in front of it. And Joe Cribbs goes out of bounds close to a first down near the 15-yard line by Fred Marion. Cribbs and Craig have revived the sagging running attack by the 49ers today. Cribbs has gained 89 yards on 20 carries, and Roger Craig has 78 yards. That's pretty good work.
And they're having success working to the right, going to Andre Tippett's side, and that's something you just don't see if you follow Patriot football. He and Lawrence Taylor, the 2 best outside linebackers in the game of football, and the 49ers capitalizing on the fact that Tippett's not all the way back yet.
2nd and 1. Roger Craig, first down, and his legs churning like pistons get him to the 10-yard line with 8 minutes remaining. And keep in mind that the 49ers, if they were to be stopped and had to settle for a field goal, would have an 8-point lead, which would mean the Patriots need 2 scores to win the ball game. So the 49ers are in control of this ball game at this point. At the 10-yard line, and that's the turnovers. So far, 1 score in 2 tries. McIntyre blocking for Cribbs, and Cribbs is in for the touchdown.
Number 28.
Joe Cribbs scores his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, and the 49ers have opened it up and lead it 28-17 with 7:28 on the clock.
And no wonder Joe Cribbs is smiling, because that's of his 2 touchdowns, both of them he's gotten into the end zone without even having to break a tackle. Joe Cribbs ought to be pretty pleased about that. His lineman out in front of him, and he doesn't even have to run over anybody. Easy scores for Cribbs and the 49ers.
As he goes over 100 yards as well. 21 carries and 101 yards today for Joe Cribbs. Wershing. Kick is good.
Kick is good.
And it's 28-17. Make it 29-17 now in favor of the 49ers.
17.
Watch this as both of the 49er guards pull. McIntyre and Randy Cross are both going to get out in front of the play, and Joe Cribbs is going to get in because they don't even have anyone to block. So effectively is it sealed off to the inside, both guards out in front, and it's not anything at all until McIntyre makes a dive into the end zone, and Joe Cribbs scores again. The 49ers 29-17 and in control.
Crowd is making its way toward the exit. That was the last San Francisco scoring drive. Dan, today the Patriots came in with 19 giveaways, the lowest in the National Football League. And they coughed the ball up by interception and fumble 3 times, and the 49ers have 10 points to show for it.
And really, it's kind of wasting what I think is a really good effort by the Patriots defense. I've thought that throughout the course of this football game that they've repeatedly stifled the 49ers, and now with some turnovers in their own territory, it's kind of really hurt a valiant cause, I thought.
So if the Patriots cannot come back from this 12-point deficit, they lose their 2nd in a row at home. Kickoff fielded by Starring. And Stephen Starring breaks a couple of tackles, and a fine kickoff return brings him into 49er territory at the 48-yard line. So if you're looking for something to spark the Patriots with 7:19 to go, that's a start. Well, Didn't anyone know that a 25-year-old psychotic armed with a rifle on CBS? First and 10 at the 49er, 48. Eason over the middle. Completes to Beatty, his tight end, and he picks up 6 yards on the play. Well, it's not always fun to score a touchdown in Foxborough, is it?
You want to watch somebody come to a screeching halt? Let's look at Joe Cribbs into the end zone, just gliding this one out, and a police dog. Hello, I think I'll stop, just passing through town. That dog doesn't seem to be real impressed with the 49er touchdown. Obviously a big Patriot fan.
2nd and 5 at the 47. Eason limbers, completes to Morgan, and a first down. The whistle had blown, and it'll be a first down to Morgan. Tim McKyer and Michael Walter on the tackle. 6.5 remaining in the clock running in the 4th.
And some of the Patriot fans headed for the exits after Cribbs' touchdown. That's a bit premature with the firepower on this football team, even though Irving Fryer is out of the football game. Let me tell you something. They're well in this football game.
First and 10 at the San Francisco 41. Pressure on Eason, and he answers it with a completed pass to Beatty, again the tight end, who has been the recipient today of 8 passes from Tony Eason. There's the clock.
The Patriots right here have to get in and out of the huddle. I mean, I don't know how much time they think they have, but they can't be spending as much time walking back to the huddle and walking to the line of scrimmage as they are right now. That's not good.
They need 2 touchdowns if they're going to win this game. 2nd and 5 at the 36. Eason dumps it off to Tupu. Mosey to Tupu with a first down to the 20. Carlton Williamson. 16-yard pickup.
Tony Eason, very, very effective at staying alive. If he feels pressure, he can move around the pocket. It's good pocket sense. Dump it off to Tupu, and he's going to pick up the first down. And the Patriots are still in it, but again, they're spending all sorts of time in the huddle as the clock runs. I don't understand why they're not a little quicker in running some plays.
First and 10 at the 21. Wide receivers to the right. Morgan and Starring. Collins, it goes left. And it was Keena Turner who came storming in from his linebacking position that forced Eason to get off that kind of a throw.
Here's Keena Turner lined right at the bottom. He's going to come in. Beatty's going to release, so there's really no one to pick up Keena Turner. You can see him coming in completely free, and Tony Eason had no idea that Turner was turned loose like that, and those are the ones that hurt even on a warm day, much less when it's in the 20s.
We've been talking about the Patriots defense today, but let's not forget Keena Turner in a terrific afternoon for the 49ers. 2nd and 10 at the 21. Eason, and a good catch by Stanley Morgan. Short of a first down by about 5 yards. Don Griffin and Tom Holmoe were in on the play.
But look at the coverage on Stanley Morgan. 2 49ers are right on him, and part of that is because Irving Fryer is in the Patriot locker room. You have an unbalanced attack when Stanley Morgan, being the receiver he is going to draw double coverage every time he tries to go anywhere.
3rd down and 4, and Eason incomplete. He had Starring, who is defended by McKyer, incomplete, and it'll be 4th down. And Raymond Berry, knowing that his club needs 2 touchdowns and nothing less with 4:11 on the clock, you would think would go for the yardage. All he needs for a first down is 4 yards, and the Patriots will go for it.
Well, he has no choice, because if he kicks a field goal, even with a touchdown, they still trail. They need 2 touchdowns to take the lead.
They're 1 out of 1 on 4th down try. Eason going for 6. He's got it. Stanley Morgan, touchdown. And Morgan, who had gone over the 100-yard mark for the 8th time this year and the 34th time in his brilliant career, has scored a touchdown to keep the Patriot hopes alive with 4:06 on the clock. And now Tony Franklin, with Eason holding, will try to bring the Patriots to within 5, and he does. 29-24 in favor of San Francisco. Don't go away. This one's not over.
And the word we used was firepower, and this is an excellent example. There's Stanley Morgan, just split out to the right side. He'll work towards the middle, and then a clean break, and I have no idea what Tim McKyer, number 22, was thinking about. He overplays it severely to the inside, and Stanley Morgan wide open for the touchdown, and a lot of time left with 4:06, and they're only down by 5 points. I think some sorry people are out on Route 1 right now, wishing they were still here in the stadium.
It is the 8th touchdown reception of the year for Morgan, and all you have to do is look at the Patriots season with their winning score against the Rams on a deflection to Irving Fryer with no time remaining. The way they came back against the New Orleans Saints on a block punt by Eugene Profit. And the Muscane that we've talked about, and now the fans who are here are on their feet.
I don't know if they're doing this to cheer on the Patriots or to stay warm, but this entire stadium on its feet. This is what makes this game fun.
A December game that means something to both teams. That comes down to this.
And a full house that appreciates it.
Bill Ring and Tom Rathman are deep. And it'll be Rathman at the 5. He was tripped up by Derwin Williams. So the 49ers, and an injured 49er is down. Looks like Bill Ring will check it. The 49ers have scored on their last 3 possessions. They were trailing after Tony Collins' touchdown, 17-16. When he caught the pass from Eason, Wershing kicked 2 field goals, and Joe Cribbs ran 11 yards to give the 49ers a 29-17 lead. But the Patriots have come back. 3:57 on the clock.
It looks like another division crown was wrapped up today. Cleveland thundering Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, 31-3, I believe, and that'll win the AFC Central for the Brownies.
But the Bengals are still alive for a wild card, and they host the Jets next Sunday in the season finale. Meanwhile, right here, the Patriots are looking for their defense to come up again. 1st and 10 at the 23. Cribbs gets 2. Johnny Rembert makes the tackle. Patriots have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. And the 49ers are in no hurry.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see them spreading to the line of scrimmage.
The Eagles with a field goal lead Dallas. Cowboys, playoff hopes like sand in the hourglass. Montana to Craig. And a great play by Ed Reynolds again. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Winding down to 3 minutes to go in this 4th quarter.
The scoreboard will reflect 29 49er points, but I don't know that that's indicative of the way that the Patriot defense today has swarmed to the football. Turnovers have cost them some points, and they are playing good football.
3rd down and 7, they say. Montana fires. Jerry Rice with a big reception and a San Francisco 1st down at the 39. Gibson on the tackle and a clutch pass and catch by Montana and Jerry Rice.
This time, see the confusion in the middle. Johnny Rembert not quite sure what's going on. Francis was open in the middle. Rice was wide open, and you would have expected the coverage to be a little tighter on a 3rd down play like that. Boy, that was a heck of a 1st down pickup for the 49ers.
And with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining, the Patriots are forced to call their first timeout. Had the 49ers not gotten the first down, New England could have used them on offense in what they would hope to be a winning drive. And now that picture has changed considerably.
Don Shinnick, the linebacker coach.
Saturday, noon Eastern time, Giants and Packers. Right here at Sullivan Stadium, 1st and 10 49ers on the 39. 2:19 on the clock. Craig is tripped up and gets a yard, and that's all. But the Patriots are going to be forced to call timeouts. They'll get the use of the 2-minute warning. They have 2 timeouts remaining.
A lot of times the team will call a timeout before the 2-minute warning. They chose to let it go all the way to the 2-minute warning before they took the timeout.
Full year for Jerry Rice, who caught the 3rd down pass to keep things alive for the 49ers and keep the ball out of the hands of the Patriots. And Rice today has gone over 1,500 yards receiving this year, 5th in NFL history. He has 36. He needed 92 yards to break Roy Green's NFL record set in '84.
And that was a possession-type catch that had Dwight Clark or Russ Francis written all over it. I think that's indicative of the kind of confidence they have in Jerry Rice.
2nd and 8 at the 41. 2 minutes to go. Patriots have 2 timeouts left. Cribbs brought down by Ed Reynolds. And now the Patriots call another timeout. They have 1 left. Niners, with a healthy Roger Craig, made a big step forward today.
And I don't think we're getting the balance that we talked about early that Ray Berry wanted to see in his Patriot ball club. 2-1 the passes over the rushing game. And keep in mind, a lot of time they had the lead, whereas the 49ers almost the opposite. Almost 2-1. They're rushing to passing.
3rd down and 5 at the 44. First down here would just about lock things up. Cribbs dives forward. A penalty marker is down as Cribbs is stopped at the 46, short of a first down by 3 yards. Fred Marion and Ernest Gibson, mostly Gibson on the tackle. There's a flag, and it's against the 49ers.
Illegal motion, offensive left tackle, penalty refused. 4th down.
So they declined the penalty, of course, and now Runager will come in and kick for the 49ers. And Stanley Morgan is going back deep for the Patriots. Irving Fryer was shaken up, hurt his left foot. He normally is the punt return man for the Patriots, and now Morgan goes back. They'll be kicking into the wind. They're going to replay the 3rd down. There was a bad false start.
The clock 150. It's correct.
And they should have blown the whistle, which they didn't. So they're going to replay the down.
So we have some problems hearing the field mic of referee Gene Barth. So another opportunity for the 49ers.
3rd down and 10 following the penalty. Montana completes it to Joe Cribbs, and he'll have the first down, and that will take care of the Patriot hopes. Marion on the stop, and that was kind of unusual. It looked as if the penalty could be declined, but when the 30-second clock elapsed,
New England's 3rd and last timeout.
Patriots call a time. Here it is.
Just nothing but play action, but Dwight Clark clears it out going downfield, and it's wide open underneath. Johnny Rembert way too late getting over, and Joe Cribbs alertly stays in bounds. Keeps the clock running, forcing the Patriots to take their last timeout.
And the penalty against the 49ers actually worked in their favor because it happened before the play. Thus, it could not be declined. Thus, the Patriots didn't have a chance to get the ball at that time, and they converted the third down. And now New England, they even signal decline the penalty, where the referee even says they decline.
Well, that can happen in any, but that's in essence like a dead ball foul. The foul occurred before the ball is even snapped. It's not even in play, so there is no opportunity for the defense even to get to make a decision, yay or nay.
Patriots are out of timeouts, and the San Francisco 49ers leading 29-24, and will award the 49ers now the victory. So the Niners, with a victory over the Rams next week, would clinch a wild card berth. Later today, Miami over the Rams. If Miami defeats LA, the 49ers still have a shot at winning the NFC West. But if the 49ers win next week in their season finale against the Rams, they will capture a wild card berth. But if the Vikings lose a game, then the 49ers are in business.
This whole deal gets a lot simpler in the 16th week.
Yes, it does.
The 15th week is tough. I want to tell you, this is tough. The fact of the matter is, the 49ers and the Patriots both desperately wanted to win. Only one of them did, the 49ers. Losing today at home, having to win now in the Orange Bowl for the Patriots. They have put themselves flat up against the wall.
If they win that game, they win the division title. But that's easier said than done, and as everyone knows, you want to go into the postseason on a high note, and right now the Patriots will have lost 2 games at home, and the 49ers winning a big one, 4-0 against AFC East teams. Bill Walsh wishes Raymond Berry good luck, and for the 49ers, they need some help to win their division title, but a victory next week will clinch a wild card berth.
And I think as Bill Walsh goes to the locker room, he's already got his talk worked out for his football team in the locker room. What he's going to tell them is, I'll tell you what, fellas, you dodged a bullet today. We had a lot of opportunities we didn't cash in on. Luckily, they turned the ball over a couple times in the second half, and we got some points.
Final score, the 49ers 29, Patriots 24. Dan and I will be back.